This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I please come?
Please come.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Come, Harnit. Good afternoon. Come, please sit down.
Thank you.
How are you, Harnit?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Are you well prepared?
I have tried my best.
Okay. So now, Harnit, you have with you three places: Jammu, Kashmir, and Punjab.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I would ask you to give a comparison between the three, two points on each, tell me.
Ma'am, in between all of three, they are or
Yes.
Ma'am, I would say in terms of weather, I would first compare them. Kashmir is very cold compared to the other two. Jammu lies in middle, and Punjab is extreme.
Something more substantive, if you do.
Okay, ma'am. Kashmir is known for its tourist spots, and Jammu is known for its temples. Punjab is known for its agriculture, number 1 point. And number 2 point, ma'am, in terms of law and order situations, Kashmir has had, I would say, cross-border terrorism. Jammu is relatively stable. And in Punjab, we have gang...
Where Doda? In which part is Doda?
Doda is a district in...
Jammu?
Yes, ma'am, Jammu division.
Terrorism very high. Rajouri killings.
Ma'am, I was talking about Jammu, my hometown, not as a division.
I'm saying is Jammu and Kashmir both are vulnerable. The ethnic composition is different and Kashmir is more, but
yes,
okay.
And Punjab, ma'am, usually faces gang violence and religious fundamentalism more than.
Now tell me, Punjab was able to wipe out Khalistani terrorism, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In the time of Mr. KPS Gill and Mr.
Yes,
Singh, huh? But Kashmir, we are not able to do it. What is the difference? Are our strategy wrong? Is the groundswell different? What is it?
Ma'am, I feel that Article 370 was a great impediment.
I mean, 3 was a great impediment.
Yes, ma'am.
In what way?
Ma'am, because the center had limited role. It could only supply arms and the...
So 370 now was abrogated in 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
But terrorism and everything continues. It's now 5 years. 5 years a full Lok Sabha term.
Ma'am, I would say we are on the verge of killing terrorism in
I would not say that at all. I wish you were right, but I know you are wrong.
Ma'am, I have some facts I would like to present before you.
Present.
In 2018 and 19, we had 245 odd incidents of terror attacks, and now last year we only had 45. And the terror-related deaths of civilians and armed personnel have come down by 70%.
Chaliye, Kash, hope you are right. I can't agree with you, but I hope you're right. Okay. Now in 370, the Supreme Court gave a judgment when it was challenged.
Yes.
What is the lacuna in that judgment? You understand lacuna?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the lacuna in that judgment? I mean, if as a lawyer you had to file a review against that order, which point would you pick up?
Ma'am, I would pick up the point that as per the agreement, the accession of order of J&K, the consent of Constituent Assembly of J&K would have been required.
But they have explained that very well. They have said the instrument of accession was irrevocable and Constituent Assembly is no longer there. You can't call it now. And they've also held that it was not binding. It is recommendation.
Yes, ma'am.
So they've given a logic. But there's something else which is there.
Ma'am, the manner in which it was done was also a point in the case.
All right, we'll discuss it. Now, you are a sportsman, I see, huh? You've represented J&K in the national games, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, tell me, why is Indian sports in such an abysmal condition? We get how many goals did we get in the last Asian Games?
I do not recall, ma'am, but total medals were 107.
So, whatever we got a couple of goals. What was our rank in it?
Fourth,
and we're very happy. Kitni achhi performance hai, huh? And who are the countries ahead of us other than China?
Sorry, ma'am. I've not followed that.
Choti countries. And we're very happy with ourselves. what ails Indian sports? What 3 steps would you take to improve sports in India?
Ma'am, I would like number 1 to focus on the Paralympics and the women category, because we have traditionally not focused on them.
Oh, women are doing better than men. What you want focusing? Women bring more glory to India than men in sports.
Ma'am,
The golden girls start with PT Usha, Shiny Ibrahim, Valsamma, and that 4 of them, 4 by 400. Arey, kya baat kar rahe ho? And these girls, the wrestlers, Fogarts and Malik and all those people. Nonsense.
Ma'am, I meant that.
And PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal.
Ma'am, I would have said that we need to continue the momentum on this, because there is still a lot of potential that we need to do.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The number 2 is, ma'am, I would like to see an increase in the funding. There was a data that said that we spend only 6 paisa per capita, but China spends rupees 3.
What else?
Number 3 is, ma'am, infrastructural improvement in the facilities, in the stadiums and other things, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move on. If you were the sports minister of India, what would you do when these women wrestlers were agitating against Brijbhushan Saran Singh?
I would give them a fair chance. I would listen to their.
What would you do?
When the judiciary has still to come out with a verdict, and
Administration will do nothing. Your Olympic medalists are being dragged by the police, lying on the ground, and they're agitating. There's been you're talking women, na? Sexual harassment of women.
Yes,
if that is going to take place, where will women come in sports? These are your Olympic medalists. And then nothing happened.
Ma'am, I was not thinking about the actual what happened with the police. I was thinking of the long-term changes.
Yes, long-term also, I mean.
Okay, ma'am.
Result is, his nominee has got elected as the president.
Yes, ma'am.
His son has got elected as the president of the UP chapter. So as sports minister, what would you have done? Wouldn't you have stopped that? Wouldn't you have changed the electoral college?
Yes, ma'am. I would have tried to change the electoral college.
They didn't even remove him. When his term was over in March, he continued.
That is an unfortunate thing, ma'am. That should not have happened.
But I asked you what you would have done. Disappointed. Okay, last question. Your electrical engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me 3 uses in the field of governance. You can pick anything you like. Corruption, drought, flood, law and order, anything. 3 uses.
Of electrical engineering in governance. I would say number 1 would be the service delivery.
Sorry?
E-governance services. Anything digital that the government provides run on electrical power systems, and hence my contribution number 1 would be that. And second would be the trend of EVs that needs a solid policy backing in terms of electrical.
When you are in government, how will you use this? You reverse the question.
Well, if there is a policy that needs to be made on EV, I would contribute my knowledge in that.
Okay, what else?
There are 2 things, and third thing is, ma'am, the renewable energy increase needed in the country for the net zero. I would give my knowledge in that.
Thank you.
Yes, Harnit.
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Can you tell me what do you think? Like, I want to know your opinion. Removal of Article 370, will it benefit the people of J&K? What do you think? What is your opinion?
Yes, sir. I feel that it will benefit, and it is already benefiting.
How?
Sir, because there are a number of factors why I say that it is benefiting. So number 1, the state of the GSDP of J&K UT has doubled in the last 5 years. We are seeing record tourism now. We are the 5th highest per capita agricultural income, and more FDI, more projects, more investment is flowing in the region. And the region is one of the fastest in e-governance. We are number 1 in whole India regarding e-governance services after the removal of 370. These are the positive.
Since now Article 370 is gone,
Sir.
What steps we need to take to further calm down the situation in J&K?
Sir, there are some problems that have aroused. Number 1, I would say, is the drug problem, because Pakistan is now using narco-terror as a measure to increase radicalization. Roughly 1/6 of the population has become drug addict. We need to focus on that measure. So number 2 is that the people are now needing an elected government for their own, because it is now a completely bureaucratic setup. And sir, number 3 is that we need to focus on the traditional arts in the system that are dying. The government has given GI tags to them, but we need to increase further.
Okay. Can you tell me how can we resolve this Kashmir issue with Pakistan?
So the first thing is that the POK area that they have occupied is rightfully ours as per the 1994 resolution of the Indian Parliament, and there are no two ways to that. And with regards to resolution, sir, the POK area is already destabilizing. I feel that the government is playing a wait and watch game, and I would not back down on saying that in the next 5 years, I would say that we will be taking POK back. Sir, there will be some sort of military action, I suppose, because everyone, like the ministers, even the Home Minister has said that it will be coming back soon.
Won't it destabilize the entire South Asia?
Sir, there will be ramifications, but as it is...
Considering both the countries are nuclear powers.
Yes, sir, but there is a saying in international relations that the strong do what they can and the weak suffer what they must. So I would see that, I know it sounds like a far-fetched claim, but 10 years back, removal of Article 370 was also a far-fetched claim. And I would say that we need to trust the government. The POK will come back, sir.
Okay. Your optional was anthropology.
Yes.
Can you tell me, is anthropology as a subject relevant in modern times? What is its utility?
Sir, I would say the thing that attracted me to anthropology was the applied aspect of anthropology, sir. Sir, I would like to quote an example before you. Sir, in Delhi, the trend of chain snatching is very common. So the Delhi police has started a project called Operation Hawkeye. What they have done is they have profiled the criminals according to their body types. They have found that the criminals who are involved in chain snatching are usually tall, they have long limbs, and they have long necks. So this basically is an anthropometric analysis of a body profile, and it flows directly from anthropology. And other such fields that are directly relevant have found a use in the day-to-day governance.
What will be its use? Now if we know people are having long limbs, so do you think we might take some strong action against those people, or like how it is going to help us?
Sir, suppose we have a criminal database of all the people, we know their height and weight and everything. Using AI and machine learning algorithms, we can possibly rule out few people.
So if the person is tall, we can consider him as he involved hoga.
Sir, amongst other things also, his crime history also, that can be taken into
Okay, no problem. Can you tell me how will electrical engineering as a subject help in boosting manufacturing sector in India?
Certainly, sir. Sir, 40% of our electricity production goes to industries in India. And considering that we are a rather less industry and manufacturing focused country, we need more of that. So I would say that electrical engineering, particularly how much stable our grids are, how much power are we able to produce, how much renewable energy we are able to integrate, that will define our future industry, sir. Sir, yesterday I was reading that world's first green hydrogen power stainless steel plant has been inaugurated. So these sort of steps we will be seeing in the future, and this will promote our manufacturing and industries based on electrical engineering.
So you go to the gym every day?
Sir, I try not to miss it, but there are some days I miss.
Can you tell me some exercises which are very much handy in terms of high intensity workouts?
Okay, sir. So first of all, I would say that one can start with basic stretching to avoid any sprains. Then one can do jumping jacks. Then one can do kettlebell kettlebell exercises. Then one can do step-ups. And if one still has energy and is not out of breath, one can do kickbacks.
Okay, thank you.
Harnit, you've also just mentioned narco-terror.
Yes, ma'am.
What is narco-terror and which state is influenced by it?
Narco-terror means the act of promoting terror acts by the use of drugs or the drug money. It is basically to create an conflict economy out of it and to radicalize the youth. The states that are prominently involved, I would say, are Punjab and J&K on the northwest border.
Okay. So, see, you mentioned narco-terror in the context of Pakistan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But is it also not a failure on part of Indian government where narcotics are making an inroads?
Certainly, ma'am.
What are the reasons and what action would you take?
Ma'am, it is a failure on the state of part of our state also that we are not able to counter these. Ma'am, the steps I would suggest is that we need an end-to-end policy. First of all, ma'am, we need to cut down on the source of drugs. Like we need to destroy the drugs that we find or the illegal fields of poppy. Number two is, ma'am, we need to focus on de-addiction centers because they are in abysmal state as some states have reported. Third, ma'am, I would say we need to make it a social movement targeting schools, NGOs, so that the youth, because we are a youthful population, the youth are not attracted to it. There is a movement in J&K called as CHAWNI. So we as youth promote each other, become peer pressure in positive sense. So this is sort of policy I would advocate.
Okay. Can you tell me few pillars of e-governance?
Ma'am, the 3 E's I would say: efficiency, equity, and economics. These 3 are come to my mind, but I am not exactly sure, ma'am. These 3 pillars. Equity means that the underprivileged and the I would say the disabled, differently abled people are able to also to use it, like the blind are also able to. The economics means that it is efficient, it is not very costly. And the efficiency means that like earlier we used to book tickets for Tatkal and the portal used to hang up on us. Those things do not happen. The system remains efficient, ma'am.
Okay, so can you mention few government schemes which provide the basis for ensuring e-governance in the country?
Ma'am, the number comes to my mind is the Umang app that provides all the government services at one place. Ma'am, BharatNet, connecting 2.9 lakh gram panchayats, and ma'am, the main scheme Digital India.
Digital India.
Yeah, 9 pillars of that. That is also the base of our e-governance framework.
Okay. You've done your 10th from CBSE,
yes,
I see, and your 12th is from State Board.
Yes, ma'am.
So should we have state boards or should they be centralized education so that everyone has the same parameters for being judged, being evaluated?
Since education is a concurrent subject, I would say that state needs to have a bit of say and to cater to its own needs, like in local language proficiency. I would say that we should preserve a bare minimum level of state boards, but more or less the education should become uniform in all of India.
Okay. So how do we maintain uniformity of evaluation when we have state boards and central board of school education?
Ma'am, we would need exam after these 2 separate boards to evaluate the.
So already we have so many exams. We have class 10th boards, class 12th boards. Now we have one more exam to unify the country.
Ma'am, not a separate exam, but an entrance exam like we have that acts sort of a normalization force, so that everyone is treated at par and nothing of state level influence comes into being. That I would say.
Okay. For the way we have JEE,
yes, ma'am,
and other entrance exams. Okay. You like watching science fiction movies?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you mention any?
Ma'am, the recent I have watched is Megan, MEGAN, Megan movie. Should I go and describe it also? So, ma'am, it is basically that a person working in an AI company creates a bot, an Android bot, and she gives her the conscience to protect her disabled daughter. But what happens is that the robot malfunctions and she starts killing the people who tried to threaten her daughter. Like there is a neighbor's dog, she kills her first. Then the dog's owner, she kills her. And when her mother finds that she is doing that, she tries to kill her mother itself. So it portrays a very dark view of the technology. I would say I'm not doing justice by describing it.
So do science fiction movies, they kind of present science from a futuristic perspective?
Yes.
Like for example, Matrix and artificial intelligence.
Yes, ma'am.
So so is AI bad? You just gave me an example of an artificial intelligence movie and how it was harmful.
Yes, ma'am.
So is AI that harmful? Should it be curbed?
Ma'am, yes. Technology is a good slave but a bad master. So I would say that we need red lines for AI and other such technologies that have dual potential. And the government is working on the Digital India Act, a specific act for controlling AI. And the recent backlash on the Google's Gemini project is also an indication of that.
Why is there last question to you? Why is there backlash on Google's Gemini project in India?
Because it portrayed a fascist image of the Indian Prime Minister when nothing of that sort existed, actually.
Okay, thank you.
So, hello, Harnit. So, you are in favor of military intervention in POK?
Sir, I am not totally, like, I'm not advocating it, but I suspect, because I have heard some intelligence experts of India, that it is bound to happen.
Okay, and do you think China is also a party in this dispute?
Sir, yes.
When POK. And do you think that if we intervene militarily, there is 𝐏𝐫𝐬𝐤𝐿, right?
Yes.
That has been ceded to China. Do you think that China will not react?
Sir, it will react. That is for sure. But it was a very far-fetched idea.
Okay, and how do you think the UN or other countries, not specifically UN, how US or EU or other countries will respond? Do you think India has that kind of support?
Sir,
Russia has intervened because they are P5, they are one of the P5, they can do whatever they want. Do you think India has that capability that we can unilaterally change the status quo?
Sir, yes, I believe we can, because when we did the Balakot airstrikes, I remember.
Balakot is very different. That was a retaliation. Here, do we have any provocation that why we are taking that?
Sir, because the people of POK are themselves demanding it. They are calling our Prime Minister to come to us and rescue them. And when the situation becomes so unstable, we will have to intervene, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you are active Reddit user.
Yes.
What kind of communities are you member of?
Sir, two community. I am part of many communities, but the two I recall is, sir, the tag is r/. That is how we mention. So r/JEE tards. Like, I give a bit of advice to the people who are appearing for JEE
exam. Okay.
Number one, and number two, sir, r/ that's interesting. Some new things that I find.
Subs. Just tell the subs name. You need not go into the syntax.
Okay, sir.
There are lots of communities where there can be, very extreme views can be shared. Does Reddit has any kind of a moderation mechanism that such kind of views are actively moderated, or when somebody crosses a limit, there is any check on that?
Yes, sir. So we have a very active role of Reddit moderators. People,
but that may be in your community. There are lots of groups where they are only hatred based. So do you Reddit has a mechanism for that also? Sir,
I would say the groups that are too small, there might be not much filtration in there. But once the size becomes a substantial amount, there is very active moderation. I am not a part of only two groups. I am part of like 100 or more groups.
So how do you think that such kind of where such kind of if I say hatred or extreme views are being shared or propagated, is there any mechanism? Should government intervene in such cases?
Sir, I would say not directly. We should have a two-tier or at least three-tier mechanism of grievance redressal. First, we should give the platform opportunity to do it itself.
Can Government of India ask Reddit to close a community based on if there are red flags? Does government have that power?
Yes, sir. Under the IT rules of 2021, it has, and Reddit has a compliance rate of, I believe, 92%.
They have 92%.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Harnit. That's all from my side.
Please step out. We'll just call you for feedback. Huh?
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you. Formal interview is over.
Thank you.
One, don't give very extreme answers, the POK or even others. Keep balance.
Okay.
Huh? Second, try to understand the question. I asked you that how can you use your skill of electrical engineering? What are the uses of electrical engineering in governance?
Okay.
So you started talking of policies needed for electrical engineering, or electrical vehicles, etc., etc.
Okay.
So listen, I'm sure you knew that answer. You said e-governance. That was good. After that, you strayed. So listen to the question very carefully.
Sure.
Huh? Otherwise, you know exactly where you need to do more preparation. We won't go question by question. When you're talking of drugs, incidentally, keep the breakdown in mind, because there is also pharma intoxicants, most is alcohol, by the way,
Yes, ma'am.
and tobacco, and then comes cannabis,
Yes,
and then comes pharma,
Yes.
buprenorphine, etc.
Okay, ma'am.
So, you heard of opioid substitution, OST? Just read it up.
Okay, ma'am.
It's a gradual approach. Give limited dose of buprenorphine to mainstream the drug addict. That's also a strategy. Otherwise, I will not get into each question. Prepare the kind of questions we've asked. Prepare these properly. Huh?
Sure.